Now let's talk about the best practices for structuring a Redux store. So here's the current structure of our store. We have an array of bug objects. Now there's another way to structure our store. Instead of an array, we can use an object. With this object, we're mapping a bug ID to a bug object. So each key in this object represents a bug ID, and each value represents a bug object. Now, what is the benefit of this structure? Well, with this structure, we can quickly look up a bug by its ID. This is a very fast operation. Whether we have 10 bugs or 1,000 bugs, looking up a bug always takes the same amount of time because here we're using the bracket notation to access a property in this object, that is this property over here. Now, in contrast, if we had an array, to look up a bug, first we would have to find its index. This is a slow operation because it involves iterating the array. So this findIndex method has to iterate the array and execute this function on every bug until it finds the bug with this ID. Now, in the worst case scenario, the bug we're looking for could be at the end of the array. So the more items we have in this array, the longer it takes to look up a bug in the worst case scenario. Also, our code is longer. Compare this with the other approach. This code is very clean and fast. Now, doesn't mean we should always use objects instead of arrays. No, objects allow fast lookups, but they don't preserve order. So if the user sorts the list of bugs, we are not going to be able to change the order of these properties in this object. So rather than blindly using objects everywhere, you need to understand what problem you're trying to solve. That is the principle I always emphasize in my courses. If you need fast lookups, use an object. If you need ordered data, use an array. What if we need both? Well, we can use a combination of the two. So in this object, we have two properties. ById, which is a map of bug IDs to bug objects. And we also have AllIDs, which is an array of bug IDs. So this array represents the order of bugs. So if the user changes the order, we simply reorder the items in this array. But we still have this map for quickly looking up a bug. Okay? Now, let's assume that our array of bugs is doing well and we don't want fast lookups, at least not at the moment. So our state is essentially an array of bugs. Now, in a real application, we often have multiple slices in the store. For example, we can have 3 slices: bugs, projects, and tags. Now, while not compulsory, it's a good practice to put these slices under a parent slice called entities, because these objects are essentially the entities in our application domain. Now, by the same token, we can have another top-level slice called auth, which includes data about the current user, such as their user ID, name, authentication token, and so on. We can also have another top-level slice called UI, and this is where we can store state specific to certain pages or components. For example, for the bugs page, we can store the current search query, the sort column, and so on. These values really represent UI state. They are different from entities, right? So this is all about structuring a Redux store. Next, I'm going to show you how to add multiple slices to our store.